example, we live in a country where, according to the Supreme Court, corporate personhood is greater than human personhood. All of the money in society goes to these guys, and to the real human beings we get less and less, and it's dwindling towards nothing.
I'm referred to in the labor movement as the real Clarence Thomas, because my politics are real. That other guy represents the 1%. Every generation is called upon to defend its own survival. Your movement has gone beyond protest. It is a movement of resistance. You organize and you mobilize in your own name to fight for freedom. You have reclaimed the people's space. This is about a people's movement and a people's agenda. There's a slogan that I've coined, and I think that you would agree. We need to take it to the corporate state, let the 1% take the weight.
That's right.
We need to take it to the corporate state and let the 1% take the weight.
There's an occupation in our communities by the police and security forces of this U.S. government in Oakland. We have all of our money being spent on policing and surveillance in our communities, whether it be migrant communities, whether it be black and brown youth. They are targeting them based upon their race, based upon their culture, and where are they trying to put them? They're trying to put them in the billion-dollar industry and state initiative called the prison system. Hold these corporations, which are inextricable from the government at this point, we need to hold them accountable.
We are, as nurses, really tired of seeing patients who are horrifically affected by this economic crisis. We see patients who are unable to afford their medications, patients who can't stay in the hospital as long as they should be staying in the hospital because they can't afford the co-pays.
We want to see an end to the death penalty. Yeah. We want an end to military intervention all around the world. Yeah. And a real serious development of alternate energy, and to reverse global warming, which is one of the greatest threats to the future generations. It's one of the main reasons that I'm out here. That's right. For my grandchildren and everybody else's grandchildren. At the big banks and the big corporations, they're privately owned, and nothing gets produced or distributed unless it's going to lead to a profit for that top 5%. And you know, you can't control what you don't own. We need to take ownership for ourselves. We need the public ownership of the banks and the top corporations, and then we will plan what gets produced and how it's distributed. We as working class people. This movement is only starting. I was looking in the news. There's 650 cities all around the world that are being occupied. You know, we know that the Republicrats are our enemies, and that really it's just the corporations own one political party that has two different faces. They're seeking to organize a wider layer of working class people, the workers and the unemployed, the house husbands and housewives along with the wage workers, the retirees and the students, those who are about to lose their home along with those who have no homes. And we are organizing to fight in the streets and in the communities, in the schools and in the workplaces, everywhere. This may be a bit controversial what I'm about to say, but this is a free speech zone, and this is my own view, is that broad organization is a mass working class people's party. To take back what's ours and to bring down this vicious, brutal, capitalist system, that's the system that we're going to bring to an end and create a system based on our needs. Victory to the occupation movement. Victory to the world's working class people. We together can conquer the world.
By the Student Workers Union. And we're here to address the crisis in public higher education and in education generally that's happening all over the state. Privatizing education to consolidate power in the 1% and to deny access and democracy to those of us who are trying to get an education and trying to change the way things are run in this country. Anybody who needed an education, which is a right, not a privilege, right? So that low-income, first-generation students of color can come and get an education and join the dialogue about how this country is going to be shaped. And that is being eroded. At the UCs, we're facing an 81% tuition hike, which means that tuitions will be over $20,000 by 2016. We are facing $2.5 billion of cuts across the educational system, including $500 million to the community colleges.
Workers have to be organizing wherever they are, whether they've got a union or not, to make sure that the workers, the people are in control, that there's democratic control of our organizations and our communities, so that we can bring together movements like this and speak up for all of our needs and our rights.
But I want to thank you for making this sacrifice today to come out here and be a part of history and the new civil rights struggle.
So it's been 1 year since we've been in existence, and we've done a lot of things because the police have been brutalizing and terrorizing our people at an increased rate that's just astounding. It's phenomenal. Since November 5th, when Meserly was sentenced, there have literally been over a dozen people killed in the Bay Area by various police agencies. On January 22nd of this year, Raheem Brown Jr. was murdered by the Oakland School District Police when he was sitting in a car as a passenger up in the hills, enjoying the view of the bay. How many people have ever done that? Anybody up in here done that? Yes. You think you should be shot and killed for looking at the beauty of the bay? Hell fucking no. We're angry. We're real angry about this killing of these innocent, unarmed people by the police. Where on July 16th, San Francisco police killed Kenneth Harding Jr. for a $2 fare evasion, whatever. He was on a muni and they killed a young black man. And then they had the nerve to come out with 4 different reasons as to how he killed himself.
Occupy everything! Occupy everything! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Every hour, every day. Occupations need to stay. 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 We got sold out. We got sold out.